So in grade 10, like I told you, I became head boy, but then I understood at a young age that in order for me to get into a good varsity, I needed to have higher grade.
Yeah.
So at the time, my school wasn't offering higher grade. So grade 10, I left and I came to Windhoek to do my grade 11 and grade 12.
If you've just joined us, you've joined us at the most opportune time, because this man needs no introduction whatsoever. Louis Manana, if you don't know him from TV, then you know him from the fashion scene. He's been featured in some really major international media for his outstanding work as a social entrepreneur, and he's been putting Namibia on the map, hailing all the way from Rundu. He started his career as a model, graduated with a degree in financial analysis. Get it? That's why he was the model with a degree. You know what I mean? Yeah. He got that degree from South Africa, where he was working as a model and he was studying as well. And today he's behind some of the biggest brands in Namibia. I'm sure you know MTC Windhoek Fashion Week, which just wrapped up, and Waka Waka Moo Children's Television Show. My dear, are you still a model with a qualification, or now you're an entrepreneur with a qualification?
I don't even know anymore. I can't keep track.
So yes, we know you're hailing from Rundu, but tell us a little bit about that. What was it like growing up there, your childhood?
I was an introvert. I was a nerd.
Okay.
I was an overachiever. I was always number one or number two in class. You know, I did everything. I did sports. I did all the social clubs. I excelled academically and all of that. So I was head boy in grade 10. It was unknown, because usually head boys grade 11 and grade 12, but for some reason I became head boy in grade 10.
Wow.
So I always had this thing of there has to be more. So more is outside. So I needed to be top tier in order to get there. So that thing has always been at the back of my mind. So
interesting. We were talking during the sports segment, the sports update. You're like, you're not into sports whatsoever, but you played sport. How did the love now die?
It wasn't love. It was a thing of, okay, I need to get as many merits as I can. I need to get as many colors as I can. I need to have a perfect score. You know what I'm saying? Just to facilitate my entry into other schools and all of that. And you just have a good transcript. Yeah.
Coming from a small town as Rundu, what was your biggest dream?
My biggest dream was to become a chartered accountant.
Okay.
Yes, because at the time, none of what I'm doing now existed in my world. In my world, it was either a doctor, a lawyer,
police officer, teacher, engineer.
Yes, one of those. So that was the dream. You know, oh my gosh, you have to leave and study and become one of those things, and just just that conditioning. We've been conditioned at a very young age to follow a certain path.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So here you are, grade 12. You're in Rundu. Then you find yourself in South Africa. Was that an immediate transition, or how did that go?
No. So in grade 10, like I told you, I became head boy, but then I understood at a young age that in order for me to get into a good varsity, I needed to have higher grade.
Yeah.
So at the time, my school wasn't offering higher grade. So grade 10, I left and I came to Windhoek to do my grade 11 and grade 12. So when I got here, I went to 4 different schools. Yeah. I went to 4 different schools because they wouldn't let me have 7 subjects, because grade 11 and 12 you're supposed to have 6 subjects.
Yes.
And I wanted 7, and I wanted all 7 on higher grade.
Okay.
So then the school was like, okay, you are smart, but you're not that smart.
Yeah.
So I had to switch to the next school. First I went to Windhoek High School. They were like, okay, we're not going to do that for you. Then I was like, fine, I'm leaving.
I'm out.
I went to Yanmore, I went to Auckland High, and then I ended up at Academia, where they said, it's fine, take your 7 subjects and have your subjects on higher level. So that's where I finished my grade 11 and 12. And when I got there, I became vice head boy.
Look at you just taking over. Taking over.
Yeah, so, yeah. And then I wanted to go to South Africa, so I applied. I went to UCT. I got in, which was the best university in Africa. So,
and that's when you got exposed to much more than what like the chartered accountancy and the and the engineering and the doctors and the things.
So I got in to do a BCom so that I can pursue my CA degree and all of that. But then somewhere along the line, I had to change varsities.
Yes.
And that's how I ended up in financial analysis, because I was like, okay, the CA thing isn't working anymore. So as I was studying, I needed to pay for school, because I am switching varsities meant that I lost my bursary and all of that. So I had to pay for school, Parents were not employed at the time. So I had to start working as a waiter.
Okay.
And I worked in a very posh area in Cape Town.
Yeah.
And there's this thing called season. So season is basically a time when scouts from all over the world come to Cape Town and do their ads. That's why most ads are shot in South Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So during season, I got scouted. They're like, oh, you could model. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm here to study. And all of that.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, it's funny. So I started doing it. And that's how I fell into the modeling industry, basically. So it was by chance. It wasn't a thing of
a planned thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we'll put a pin in it just for a little bit with Tiwa Savage saying Somebody's Son. I'm chilling with somebody's son, also me, man. I'm chilling with Louis Manana from Rundu to Cape Town, chartered accountancy, financial analysis, to being like an avid model being scouted. Imagine just walking down the street and someone goes, you're good looking, man. You man. Also, we want you. We want how you look. We want it. We want it all. What is your definition of success, actually? And has it changed over the course of your life, you feel?
No, definitely it has changed. To me, success meant, driving a nice car, having a big house, building your parents a home and all of that. But during the course of the years, it definitely changed to a place of finding purpose.
Yeah.
So for me, it was finding my purpose in life to understand why I'm here on earth. So once I realized that, I felt like, okay, I've achieved success, because I found inner peace. I found ways of how I am living in my purpose. And that meant anything I do because I'm in my purpose will succeed. So, yeah.
Yeah. And you just recently pulled off an epic showcase for the Fashion Week with your Zuriel collection, which I know a lot of people butcher that name, and I hope I'm not one of them. Is it Zural, Zuru, Zuriel?
I actually need to give you something for saying it right.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Zuriel. Yeah. So you're saying it right. You call it Zuriel, Zural.
Like,
oh
they
my gosh.
butcher it all the time. What was that like for you, the creative process of putting that all together even?
First of all, I decided to have my own slot because we have 6 slots at Fashion Week, and each slot has about 10 designers. So I had my own slot all to myself. So imagine 10 designers, and each designer has about 12 to 16 looks.
Yeah.
So I had to create about 45 plus looks because I have an whole hour to myself. So the creative process was like, you need to make sure you do not drop the ball because number one, you have a whole slot to yourself. Number two, this is your second collection, is volume 2 and all of that. So it was quite intense, but it was also inspired by what happened to Zuriel throughout the course of the year. That's why it had tears,
Okay.
Yeah.
And what? Just talk us through that. The tears were meant tears or?
Oh, TIERS, tears.
Yeah. In it,
yeah. So basically, there was the rose gold house. So I had 5 houses. So each houses was themed according to the different colors. Yeah. So the rose gold house was themed in your rose gold colors, your rose gold, your pink, and your reds, and so forth. And that was because we had one of our dresses for Miss Namibia in the top 5. It was rose gold. Our first wedding this year was, the bride's colors was rose gold. And one of the seamstresses that works at Zuriel not tested, but she was diagnosed with cancer this year. So the pink really stood out. So rose gold became a theme, and then every other color has a story. So, so that's how we sort of,
sounds like you have a lot on your hands. How do you manage to just get all the energy and the time to do all of these things, even your social initiatives that you're running even?
Drive and purpose. Yeah, drive and purpose. Cause I feel like if I don't do it, I don't sleep, number one. If I don't do it, I have this nagging feeling at the back of my mind, like, why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it? You're supposed to be doing it, and so forth. So, yes, drive and purpose.
Tips for the young ones that are coming into the fashion industry, because it's very cutthroat, Lewis, and you know that.
No, definitely.
Yeah, so 3 quick tips for our people. 3 quick tips.
Number one, have a tribe. By your tribe, I mean people who will support you regardless of where you are in life. No matter if you are broke for 5 years, they're there for you. So that's number one, have a tribe. Number 2, realize that things don't happen overnight. You have to put in the work. You have to build, and eventually things are going to open. We had to struggle for 5 years with Fashion Week until MTC came on board.
People think that it happens just like this, but there's so much work in the background.
There's so much work in the background. You need to prove yourselves, because people will only believe in you if you believe in you first, you know. So yeah, that's tip number 2. And tip number 3, have a good heart. I think having a good heart goes a very long way. Being nice to people, having good manners, being kind on social media. Just put out good energy. Good energy comes back to you. Yeah.
Well, we'll still yet to find out what's next for Lewis. I mean, he is here until 10 o'clock. So stick around because you're tuned into 99 FM, your inspiration station.
Royal Hustlers was proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation.
Good today, better tomorrow.
Oraniumund, established in 1936, from which point onwards CDM, now Namdeb Diamond Corporation, provided every service, the schooling, infrastructure and entertainment required for the people of the town. The winds of change is blowing over Oraniumund, which is no longer a closed town.
This ship was commandeered by King Charles III, and he actually sent a knight to Spain to go and fetch some money from investors, because they wanted to go and fetch some spices in India.
When we were kids, the mine delivered milk, bread, and black paper, black plastic bags for your rubbish, and cleaned your garden, did the maintenance of your house. You had furniture already installed in your house.
Mwenangoe mompomboe mainyanyudho ote ea mukuru okuzangenea toterwe mombo omaovigari nihweigiyari omrunga radio ogwakara nokukundaneka okunyanyudha nokuyakuroshiwana omrunga radio yotango monamibia.
Myself in this industry from a very young age, and I guess the biggest dream was the one that was the most out of reach, and that was working on cruise liners. So that was something that seemed like it could never happen, but it was my focal point studying, and you know, when you dream hard enough, it happens.
So our Royal Hustler this morning, as I mentioned, is Roxanne Lahera, who is the co-franchisee of the Beauty Therapy Institute in the capital city and a beauty therapy lecturer by profession. The Beauty Therapy Institute, Windhoek, is one of the largest beauty therapy training groups in sub-Saharan Africa, providing over 40 internationally registered courses to students in Namibia. These courses work on a flexi-time modular platform. Roxanne, thank you so much for availing your time and being with us as our Royal Hustler this morning. And the crowd goes wild.
Thank you so much for having me.
Look, getting straight into it before we pivot to the work that you're busy with, tell us a bit about yourself. Who you are, where were you born, how was your childhood like?
Okay, I had a really nice childhood.
Okay.
I was born and raised in Windhoek, schooled here, and I went to study at Camelot Health and Skincare here in Windhoek as well.
Okay.
And yeah, you know, proudly Namibian. Everything's right here. I'm married now for over 7 years, and I've got 2 kids.
Oh, look at you. You know, growing up, what was your biggest dream? Did you ever think that this is where you'd be finding yourself? What aspiration did you have as a young child?
I did view myself in this industry from a very young age. And I guess the biggest dream was the one that was the most out of reach. And that was working on cruise liners.
Wow.
So that was something that seemed like it could never happen. But it was my focal point studying. And, you know, when you dream hard enough, it happens.
So you wanted to be in Dubai on a yacht?
Yes. I was more in the US.
I know,
but
I
yeah.
get it. Yeah. So, you know, when your feet hit the ground every morning, what motivates you? What gets you out of bed? In addition to your 2 children and your husband.
So I'm a very positive person. There's a lot of things that motivate me.
Right.
And I'm spiritual as well. But professionally, my students, of course, you know, knowing how I feel about the industry, knowing what I felt being on the cruise ships and having that happen for me, knowing that I can make that happen for somebody else, that is my biggest motivation.
You touched a bit on your students, and you are a lecturer right now. You know, what is the most fulfilling aspect of the teaching component of what you're busy with?
Like I said, just making people's dreams come true, knowing that, you know, this industry is so big and you can really grow yourself in any direction. It's a huge industry. So knowing that I can make that happen for somebody else, that is my biggest fulfillment.
Putting you on the spot now, what the most memorable memory dealing with your students?
Okay, I had one student, she really struggled to learn.
Right.
And there was this one day, you know, after saying things a couple of times, when I came into the class one day and she just recited everything I've been saying to her for months.
Wow.
That was just, you know, I went into the office to my partner and I went, you know what?
I did it. It was a whole full circle 360 type of thing.
Yes,
yeah?
yes.
And how did you get into the beauty business? I mean, you did mention and you touched a bit on like the line of work that you've always wanted to pursue. You kind of sort of had an idea already, but what was the nexus? What was that starting point for you?
So when I was younger, I watched a lot of Verimark adverts.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, so I used to put on my mom's creams and things and pretend like, you know, the crowd goes wild.
Right.
Wow, look, it's removing everything. And my mom's friend moved to the US and she sent my mom a palette for her birthday. So it had eyeshadows, lipstick, everything, and that ultimately became mine.
And I was going to say.
Yes. So, you know, just doing all of that every day was something for me that really stood out. And when I was grade 9 and Camelot came to the school and they told us all about the beauty industry and that you could make money doing this, travel the world, be paid to travel the world, that was for me like, this is it.
Yeah.
You know, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I love. And I didn't even know I could do it.
Yeah, until you did it.
Yes.
Let's pivot a bit. What has business been like? You are an educator, but also you are a businesswoman. You know, we are finding ourselves in very, very precarious times, COVID-19. How has your business been faring?
Okay, so we took over the school just as we went into the first lockdown.
Your great timing, eh?
Perfect timing. So for us, it was all still... It was new.
Right.
It was sort of, can I say, normal?
Right.
Because it was what we now know and what we stepped into. But I must say, over the past year, things have improved a lot. And we're getting a lot more people that feel comfortable coming in. So it's looking good.
Right.
It's looking good.
A question, you know, in terms of skincare and just body therapy, is there something that generally, what have you found to be the sentiment and the trend regarding people? Is it something that people are really taking seriously, or do you just have a select few people that understand it? You know, how has that been like for you?
The industry is so much bigger on the outside, so much bigger overseas. There's a lot of respect for the industry overseas.
Right.
And this is my goal, to build that respect for the industry here in Namibia. So there's a lot of people that don't understand how much goes into it, how these students are studying anatomy and, chemistry and physics and everything to actually understand the body.
Right.
So there's a lot of things people don't know about the industry here in Namibia yet, and I'm here to raise awareness.
One thing, if you could just mention one thing that you wish Namibians knew about the work that you do, body therapy and all that. Just one. Because I can see your eyes. It was like, do I have time?
Much.
Yeah, so much. Yeah.
It's just that they really go so much into it. We do, for example, our students do first and second year, I think first year, what is it called? Nursing anatomy.
Right.
There's just so much knowledge that goes behind what we do to really understand. You can't just massage someone, not knowing where the muscle is, what's wrong with the muscle, how it works, all of that. So there's a lot that really goes into it, a lot of knowledge.
Quickly talk to us about some of your business offerings. What exactly do you do?
Okay, so for the school.
For the school and the business.
Okay, so we offer courses. We have a salon as well, a student salon where people can book for treatments.
Right.
Obviously at a much lower price, where the students can work and practice on them. And we offer courses, over 40 courses
that I mentioned earlier. Yeah.
Yes.
And on the business side of things?
For now, I've just been focusing on the Beauty Therapy Institute. A lot of students, they're paying a lot of money for me to put all my time and energy into that. So that's where my focus is right now.
Is this a business that you recommend, or, would you recommend this career to other Namibians?
Of course.
Look at you.
Yes.
So unbiased. Like, what?
Yes, of course, because this is skills. Nobody can take a skill from you.
Yeah.
You can study all you want for something. I don't want to give examples, but you can study so much and not find a job in that industry. But when you are skill driven and you've got skills, you've been taught a skill, you can go and do work from home. You can start your own thing. The skill cannot be taken from you.
Definitely.
It will always be there. You can do something with it at any time.
Before we let you go, where do you envision the Beauty Therapy Institute Windhoek to be in the next year, next 2 years, and even next 3 years?
I've got big dreams.
You got big dreams?
Big dreams. So let's just say we won't need an introduction anymore.
Look at you.
Everybody will know what's the Beauty Therapy Institute.
Look at that. That is absolutely very inspirational. And if we have, young women, even young men, that girl child, that boy child that's listening to your story right now, looking at your journey, what's that message you would like to impart with them or leave them with?
Don't stop dreaming. If you stop dreaming, you stop believing. And if you stop believing, you're not going to get there.
Thank you so much, Roxanne.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Don't stop dreaming. Very, very sweet and simple. The Roxanne Laher, who is the co-franchisee of the Beauty Therapy Institute in Windhoek. Very soon, they will not need any introduction, and a beauty therapy lecturer by profession. Just a quick recap. The Beauty Therapy Institute Windhoek is one of the largest beauty therapy training groups in Africa, providing over 40 internationally registered courses to students in Namibia, and it's something that you definitely need to get into if that is a path that you would like to follow. Roxanne, thank you so much for being our Royal Hustler this morning.
Thank you so much.
Good day, viewers, and welcome to this series that'll teach you how to put the power of fish into a dish. In today's series, we will be featuring Chef Gerson, who's going to show us how to prepare a mouth-watering 3-course meal by only using fish. For his starter, Chef Gerson will prepare a delicious kabeljauw salad. For this particular meal, you will need the following ingredients: kabeljauw, kale, mixed lettuce, strawberries, raspberries, lemon, and sweet corn. For his main, Chef Gershon is going to prepare delicious tilapia, more commonly known as bream, served with beetroot puree, long broccoli, couscous, and roasted cherry tomatoes. For this meal, you will need the following ingredients: tilapia or bream, beetroot, oranges, honey, long broccoli, cherry tomatoes, dill, and couscous. For his final meal and his dessert, Chef Gershon is going to prepare a scrumptious chocolate souffle served with blueberries. In order to prepare this dish, you will need the following ingredients: unsalted butter, semi-sweet chocolate bar, large eggs, vanilla extract, salt, cream of tartar, granulated sugar, as well as blueberries. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, a full 3-course meal showing you the power of fish into a scrumptious dish. If you want to get the full recipe, please go to our website at www.nfcpt.com.na or visit any of our fish consumption promotion shops across the country.
Shikoko, Oshikano, Patura eso ta kongola, ala kweta yo chile bakala mwarela luchano man, yeso no waken. Koko, yeso sota kongola.